Something's not right here. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Random Fandom. I'm your host, scooting over here. Did I say hello, everybody, too soon? Anyways, hello, everybody. My name is Ravenwood. Welcome back to the Random. I'm your host, Ravenwood, and welcome to your co-host that's over towards the middle here. Let me scoot a little bit towards. We have got to reconfigure everything else here. Maybe push things back or something.
Just slide it over.
Yes. Slide it a little bit that way. A little bit more. As you can probably tell, I got myself a haircut. He got himself a haircut. But, yeah. Anyways, mine's shorter, his shorter.
Just slide over this way.
Yeah, there we go. Anyways.
Hello, everybody. I am the Indominic Rex.
Yes. Yeah, but today's...
Welcome to another live stream here at the Random Fandom, where we talk about your random fandoms, whatever they may be.
Welcome to episode 5 of the Random Fandom live stream.
And I am currently chilling here with a pizza. So if you get hungry watching this stream, well,
some episodes are short. Some of the earlier episodes are short due to connection issues, but I now know how to fix that. Regardless, we are on episode 5, the Random Menace. I'm stealing this.
We did not agree to that title.
Well, it was either that or the Phantom Menace, and I didn't want to get dogpiled on.
So I feel like the Fandom Menace probably makes more sense because the fandom is a lot more toxic than randomness.
But the thing is,
for those of you who been on other fandom platforms watching the fandoms rip into people for getting one detail wrong about their beloved franchises, you know what I mean. You know.
Before we start talking about the movies and how we rank them, and describe them and have our opinions on them. Let's first talk about the Phantom Menace. Okay, not the Phantom Menace, the Phantom Menace. Okay, they're grifters. Okay, at first they have opinions that we kind of agree with here and there, but apparently they're just grifters. They're not really whatever. They're a little too for people who hate politics or hate unsubtle politics in no, not subtle politics, whatever. For people who hate politics being shoved into the stories and whatnot, well, you can have politics into your stories and whatnot in universe.
I mean,
politics.
You can have some in-universe politics, but don't bring real life politics into your stuff.
Politics. You just gotta make it make sense. That's the phrase that a lot of people say. You just gotta make it make sense.
It's like Thanksgiving, dinner, or no, better yet, here's a better example. It's a lot like eating at the dinner table. You don't bring up religion, you don't bring up politics, and you don't bring up sports.
Well,
when everybody is at the dinner table eating and just talking about their day, those are the 3 big taboos you never want to talk about at the dinner table.
Now, I want to say.
Now, there are some exceptions to the rule because, there are a lot of Christian families out there who talk about the Word of God during the, around the supper table, I did the Lord's work today. And that's great for you. My brother and I are Christians too, so we sometimes do that at the dinner. But usually those are the big 3 taboos around the dinner table. Religion, sports, and politics.
Anyways, no, hold on.
You never bring them up.
Hold on, that's getting off topic. Well, I'm trying to get to the point here of the subject of the Phantom Menace is that their problem. Okay, but going back to what their problem is and what our problem is, right? The problem that people kind of agree on
You
is
mean
that
the
like
parabellum?
yeah, the problem that people both agree on, like okay, the Twitter brain politics. Let's call it like that. The Twitter brain, the Reddit brain, or whatever brain.
X has a brain.
I'm talking about like the people who use the website.
They
Facebook.
They have brains. Y'all have brains.
Ah.
Oh my god!
I only use it for like art and retweeting like news stuff and like whatnot, like reading the articles.
I already know you don't have a brain.
Okay, listen, discussing films, film theory.
We get our smack
not-
talk out of the way first few minutes. Of
Anyways,
the
what I'm
stream.
getting to the point here is that what
If only we had a soundboard.
what I'm trying to get at is with these type of people, like with the point that they don't like, or the politics with it, what they don't like, it's the politics that are just kind of spewed with like straw man or sympathy straw man, or like if the writer agrees with this logic or this moral, whatever, then they'll either use poor excuses or not well not well written arguments or whatever. No moral gray areas. It's got to be pure black and pure white, right? It's got to be a dark side or light side, right? There's no gray Jedi, which we're not going to talk about the gray Jedi. we are not going to talk about the gray Jedi.
I'd like to,
or the gray Force
users. I would like to regurgitate an old Team 4-star reference here. You're either perfect or you're not. There's no gray area. For those of you who've seen Team 4 Stars, Dragon Ball Z Abridged, you know you're the real ones.
Okay, so, but the reason why they're grifters is because they purposely like take their political spews, right? Their political takes to the off screen.
I am off screen.
Like way over there. Anyways, okay. Now, let's first address the elephant in the room. We are not going to take that route. I remember earlier when we had this channel, we kind of went that route, not fully, but also because not understanding like the full aspect ratio of what, not aspect ratio, not fully understanding the we need stuff. Anyways, either have our chairs back or
the repercussions.
Well, let's pull the chairs back and then like push.
Just
there we go. Anyways,
out of the shot.
There we go. That's a lot better. There we go. That's a lot better. Until you sit back, sit up.
I'm literally sitting up. This is about as far as it'll go.
Triangling your chair this way.
Just.
Anyways,
well,
that's fine. And now I'm. Oh well, we'll fix it later.
Yeah, we'll get it fixed.
There. Okay, so that's perfect. I can be pushed in the corner here a little bit. I feel like if you straighten out your chair and then I straighten out my chair, there we go. That's much better for me.
Yeah.
Me straightening out my chair this way, but you usually need to have your chair a little bit like mine is. A little bit closer to the middle. Perfect. Okay. Anyways, with that out of the anyways, with that with that out of the way, with the Phantom Menace. Okay, we're not going to go into their political mindsets or the political vagueness, the argumentation.
We're not going to go into the political addendum.
Yeah, thank you. But we're going to what our just our opinions on the subject as a whole, Star Wars.
Yeah.
We're not going to go deep into the lore and like the dark. What is the red crystal? What is the blue crystal?
Basically, so
Kyber
basically, hey,
crystals.
you don't mind I cut you off here
What?
right now. So basically, if you've seen our Jurassic Park and Jurassic World live streams, we're basically doing that, but with Star Wars.
Yes. We'll get into like deep lore into future streams. Deep lore, deep argumentations about the lore and whatnot, and deep thoughts about it, characters, all that stuff in future streams. We're not in it. Yeah. So now we're gonna now rank our favorite episodes of the Star Wars, or favorite movies in this case. Favorite movies in order from worst. From which one do you want to go? Worst to best or best to worst?
I mean,
Do you want to go separately by trilogy?
you know what? Since I was the main voice of our last stream with Jurassic Park and whatnot, you decide what we do with Star Wars.
Okay. Well, we're gonna rank them first with trilogy. Okay. So, what do you think would be your favorite out of the first three in order, from best to worst?
Like out of the original trilogy, or the prequel trilogy, or the Disney trilogy. Like,
okay, no, 4, 5, and 6 original.
The original trilogy. All right. So,
or do you want to go in order of how the events take place?
It's up to you.
Okay, fine. Well, let's go with the classic way of answering.
Classic Star Wars.
Classic Star Wars.
And this might seem a bit weird, because I know a lot of people would say this, but like, bear in mind, for the longest time, a lot of Star Wars fans said, "Oh, this movie was the worst," and then later it became the best, and then it's kind of like Jurassic Park: The Lost World, and how it kind of flopped one way, then flipped the other, and then rolled itself up into a burrito and became kind of like the fan favorite of the franchise.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to say that my favorite of the original trilogy is The Empire Strikes Back.
Okay, what's the second favorite?
My second favorite will probably have to be A New Hope, followed by Return of the Jedi.
Profound. Oh, okay. Now for the prequels, or do you want me to go?
Yeah,
for the originals?
You do yours first, and then
okay.
Get this off the screen.
No, I have to have it there.
It's blocking my.
I have to fine. I'll put it right over here.
Yeah, keep it over here.
Okay. Anyways, okay.
Nobody's gonna be chatting, so we can hide.
There
we
might
can
be
hide.
people chatting.
We can hide the chat bar.
You may never know.
Well, if we see any chat text bubbles pop up right here, then we'll know someone's chatting.
Okay.
But until then, no one's chatting.
Oh, okay.
See, chat rate is 0.
But there's one view, so someone's gonna watch.
Hello, viewer. Glad to have you with us.
Anyways, if you're still here, ooh, okay, this is a trick question.
It's not a trick question.
Not trick.
Which one's your favorite out of the original
okay.
trilogy?
Okay, I have to actually. This might be a bit controversial, but in reverse order. I like 6.
Return the Jedi.
Yes. 5 and then 4.
Hey, So Return of the Jedi is your favorite out of the original trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, a lot of people say it's the worst out of the original trilogy. A lot of people say it's their favorite. It's kind of on the similar ground with Empire Strikes Back, except
there's something about it that like it just completely like the first one sets everything into motion, right? And if you want to get real technical, the prequels set everything into motion, right? And then the original trilogy sets everything into place or puts everything back. Like you open up a box of like you open a puzzle box, right? You open up a box of puzzles, right? And then the original trilogy puts those pieces together. And then the sequel trilogy just like takes some of them apart and then just toss those out and then take up a different box of puzzles and then just put those puzzle pieces in the to fit in
all right.
the puzzle.
We gotta stay focused.
I want to get into that right later, but we'll get to them later. Now, okay, prequels. What is your first favorite till your least favorite?
Well, in this case, my favorite out of the prequels has to be Revenge of the Sith, followed by Attack of the Clones, and then The Phantom Menace. I don't know what it was like. Actually, I may change that order a bit. Yeah, Revenge of the Sith, then The Phantom Menace, and then Attack of the Clones.
Interesting. Okay.
Probably because Liam Neeson was in The Phantom Menace, and that soundtrack for Duel of the Fates, that was pretty epic.
Okay. My turn.
How the prequel trilogy, which was your favorite?
This one's a tough one. I have to say, well, it's not really a tough one because it's literally in the order of like worst to best.
Which one was your best?
Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, I will say this much: Attack of the Clones and The Phantom Menace were both by far like my least favorite of the Star Wars movies up to that point. The only reason I can tolerate The Phantom Menace to this day still is because, it's an origin story of how they found Anakin, and Liam Neeson's in it, and I like his character Qui-Gon Jinn. He's one of the best Jedi characters.
Now, I will say,
and the Duel of the Fates soundtrack was amazing. Them battling Darth Maul was just cool. That's the only reason I still love it in the running.
We can discuss. I do want to discuss like your favorite order of the Lego video games.
Let's not.
Without, I feel like that should be like. Well, hold on.
Let's not talk about the Lego video games.
I almost forgot. There's the new Lego. There's the old Lego video games. Star Wars Legos, and there's the new Star Wars Lego.
I haven't played any of the new ones.
We haven't had time, or not. Well, yeah, we haven't had time to play the newer Lego video games. I feel like we could.
We probably could, but I mean,
a live stream.
The old ones came out. The old ones came out when the Wii was still famous.
Well, see the new ones, I feel like are probably going to be just as good in the sense that the Legos can now talk.
I don't know about that. But.
Well, okay, I like I'm separate because I do like the fact that the Legos couldn't talk, and I also like the fact that the Legos can not talk, and then Okay, they can talk now. We can talk now. We can talk now. Like I like the whole team was like, no. Don't get me wrong. I'm like, I think I like the idea of both of them.
I
feel
mean,
like
the Lego movie, like the Lego games, like having voice lines, that's fine and all. It just
I wish that like the Skywalker, like the Lego Skywalker film or Lego Skywalker, the Lego the Lego sequel trilogy, the whatever it's called. Sorry, I don't know why you say call it the Skywalker. Anyways, the Lego uh games, right?
sure.
Um, went the approach of the old school of the weird, yeah,
I don't
just
know.
talking like the
I
weird,
don't know. I personally would have preferred
and the
that.
weird humor.
I personally would have preferred if they had kept the old style of Legos, especially for the Jurassic Park Lego game, because that was just a little too cartoony and childish, and nobody died. They would all just cartoonishly survive. So, anyways, I'd rather not get into the Lego games.
Because well, the reason why I mentioned that up is because I really like the first.
We didn't get
finish.
into the Lego games for the Jurassic franchise. Let's not do it.
I know. The reason why I brought it up was because I really like the Lego game for the prequels. they I actually like that the prequel.
The original Lego game, yeah, it's all right. I'm just saying, like.
Anyways, the problem I have to say with the prequels is that they were too much into the in-world politics and the allegories and that. I'm not saying that politics is wrong.
As much as I dread it, we have to talk about the Disney trilogy.
Beforehand,
the Disney trilogy.
Beforehand, well, let's now order.
Or to everyone who wants to be into the details with me, the sequel trilogy.
I like to call it the epilogue trilogy.
At this point, they're not going to be in a rush to make a Star Wars movie anytime soon.
Oh no, they're going to make
that. After those disasters, they're probably not in any rush right now.
No, they're making them, but like they're not.
They're not.
They haven't have an official date or anything.
They're not in a rush.
Yeah, I know that.
Whereas Jurassic's still going strong.
Anyways, and Star Trek had literally just recently, from what I recall, or at least I think, I'm not 100% certain, they apparently had removed Star Trek. I think Star Trek Discovery or something like that out of canon. Probably Star Trek recently just removed something from canon. Now, some other story recently also removed their story out of canon as well. But they're now doing that for some reason. I've noticed that they've just now made sure that Star Trek Discovery they decided to remove it from canon altogether. Can they do that? I mean, I know that they can, but
probably for the best. Not a whole lot of people. Not a whole lot of people like Star Trek Discovery.
Star Wars Acolyte was apparently. Acolyte. I'm not certain.
It was a huge flop.
But I'm not certain about it.
It was a flop, and I'm sorry, but I was finally convinced by a friend of mine in one of my community chats, not on Discord. I was told to watch The Alkalite and make a decision for myself, even though everybody else said to me it's a flop. So I watched it, and while yes, there were some good action scenes in it, that's just it. There were only a few good action scenes, and the rest of it was just.
It's like they did. It's like they literally took everything that they did not learn
I
from the
bashed
previous.
my head on the desk, but that would hurt, and
you probably might kill the streamer.
I might kill the streamer. So.
Anyways, no, but like here's another thing. It
was
feels
that
like I haven't seen it.
It hurt.
From what I've heard, from what I heard about the Alkalite, it feels like they learned nothing from all of their previous shows, from the writings of the previous shows, like from The Mandalorian, Ahsoka. I think there was an Ahsoka show, right?
There was an Ahsoka show, but
Obi-Wan.
I'm gonna stop you there. I'm gonna stop you there.
Like the
Obi-Wan, The Mandalorian, all 3 seasons, Ahsoka. All 3 of those shows are leagues better than the Alkalite. No. They are leagues better than the Alkalite.
How so?
Because the Alkalite story is just, and say what you will about Obi-Wan's story, at least they knew what direction they were going in with that story.
Well,
the Alkalite was just kind of.
It just exists.
It just exists, and yeah, there's a whole murder plot behind. Who's.
Let's not discuss the show in depth. We're here to talk about the movies. We'll probably talk about the shows in a separate stream. Oh dear, we have to talk about the shows in a separate stream. We'll start with the Clone Wars after we're done rewatching.
I feel like we should talk about the Clone Wars last because we want something happy to talk about by the end of that stream.
Oh no, I feel like here's what we'll definitely do. We'll probably like rewatch. We're in the middle of like rewatching like shows and whatnot. And we're not watching Resistance. There's one thing I will not plague us with. It's watching the Resistance show. Okay. We watched 2 episodes, or maybe 3 episodes when we were younger, and then like you just stopped, and then we like, no, this is garbage. We were out.
Yeah, I switched. I switched to Star Wars. I switched to Star Wars Rebels.
The Rebels at least had some entertainment.
Some.
Yes,
it had a lot of entertainment.
Well, yes, some in the sense of like, okay, there's some parts.
Say what you will about. Say what
season
you will
1 and 2
about.
were at least somewhat boring. Something.
Say what you will about Star Wars Rebels, but when it picked up,
at least it picked up. At least it picked up. That's what I can say.
It really got into like, it really got some interesting stuff.
Now let's put the prequel
aside.
We'll put those aside. But let's go back to the movies. Let's put. How would you put in order of the originals and the prequels? All 6 of them.
We have to talk about the sequels.
Yes, but I want to get to the sequels later because they're like.
I'll say this in order from best to least. My favorites out of all 6 of those movies. Empire Strikes Back, New Hope, Return of the Jedi, Revenge of the Sith, Attack of the Clones. No, I'm sorry. Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones. That's my ranking in order. Say what you will. Some of you may like Attack of the Clones, in which case I'm sorry if I've offended you. It just that movie did not do it for me. Like it may be amazing. Like there were some amazing shots in there. Just
Okay.
it just didn't do it for me.
Okay, my turn.
Yeah.
All right.
Hold on to your butts.
Okay. In order. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. No, okay. Well, yeah, it has to be in that order. I want to put. Part of me wants to put 3 ahead of 4, but I'm like, nah. Then sometimes
I almost did put 3 ahead of 4, but
it's
there
the
were
first
just
half
some,
of the movie that's just take that out. Or no,
some,
not the first half.
Some
No,
parts
it's just
of
well,
some
no.
parts of episode 3 were a bit droning,
Okay.
but the rest of it was pretty.
It's really
that's
hard for me
pretty
to
good.
It's really hard to like episode 3 is like really good, right? Like no, not the first half, but like okay, so you're like the beginning part of the movie, and then like after that, drop it into the lake of fire. Oh. The General Grievous versus Obi-Wan scene, and maybe the rise of Vader, and then forward, everything forward. That there's just a part that's just like, yeah. Now, not talking about the attack of Kashyyyk, or there's a lot of Kashyyyk. I'm realizing there's probably a lot of stuff from the movies I'm completely forgetting because it's been a long time ago. We watched it a lot.
It's been a couple of years since we watched.
But like
the Star
it's
Wars
ingrained
movies.
in our brains. Yeah. But like my brain has completely omitted most of the boring chitty chit chat.
You call it a brain, but I just call it like the hamster running on that wheel.
Well, okay, fine. The hamster on the wheel.
The hamster tripped on some of the parchment, and some of them slid out of the files that make up the like sections of the hamster wheel.
No, the hamster's right reading the file and like, delete this part. Put it in the fireplace.
They just like casually distributing some memories into the furnace.
Okay, that part of me is I'm trying to tell the hamster, put Obi-Wan and Han Solo into the fire. Do it now. Burn it. And the answer is like, no.
Say what you will.
Hamster on the wheel. Han Solo and Obi-Wan.
Say what you will about Obi-Wan.
Oh, and Ahsoka too. Okay, anyways, yeah.
Oh, I mean, Ahsoka wasn't that bad. I mean, it's not that good.
If you think about the
not that
parts, like even the good parts, it slowly spins off. If it's hamster wheel.
It does. Look, I'm not going to defend any of these shows and say, oh, they're good, they're great, they're peak Star Wars. No, I'm not going to say
when
that.
Was it ever?
It just, I'm just saying, like, some of them aren't as bad as people say they are, and some of them aren't as good as people say they are. For me, like shows like Obi-Wan are kind of like in the middle. Shows like Ahsoka lean towards decent, but also tilt towards but it's like kind of slanted.
Okay.
Whereas shows like The Alkalite is kind of where's that going?
Anyways, now I do want to do like what is your favorite scene out of all of them, but let's talk about the sequels now. Let's put them. We had
to get to it eventually.
Let's put them in order. This one's gonna be a tough one for me, or maybe an easy one, but like Oh, it depends on where the tumbleweed rolls downhill. Okay, what is your favorite and what is your least favorite?
Look, I'm gonna say this right now. My favorite is The Force Awakens, then The Last Jedi, and then The Rise of Skywalker. It progressively got worse with each movie, so The Force Awakens was decent. I would compare it to the first of the Jurassic World movies. It's on that level. I would compare it to the first Jurassic World. You know, they're all right movies. I dare say The Force Awakens might be up there with I dare say it might be up there with Revenge of the Sith. Might. It depends on it depends. But then the last I mean there were some funny moments in there, but it felt like they were leaning too much into the comedy bits, and then the rest of it was just kind of like had me sitting there in that theater going, what have they done to my boy?
Oh,
What have they done?
okay.
What have they done?
Matter
Like Anakin Skywalker was like, what have they done?
Anakin Skywalker accidentally built a Jeep. That is my favorite version of it.
What have I done?
There's probably a lot of what have I done.
But this was just what have they done? I was just wondering what was going through their minds when they were making. Hey, we got one concurrent viewer.
Hey, hello.
Thank you very much.
Viewer.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We're here every weekend. Almost. Almost. I said almost. Don't quote me on that.
At least once a month. We try.
Yeah, we try. And then the Rise of Skywalker. I wanted to walk out of that theater, but I stayed put because, you know, I went to see that movie with a friend, so I couldn't just walk out because that would have been rude to her father. And I went to see that movie with my friend Ashley and her folks because they invited me to go see the movie with them, and I wanted to walk out of that theater so bad, but they. I didn't want to be rude to them. Well, you went and saw it. We went and saw it on a different day.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, we saw it together a different day. I didn't say anything. I already knew what to expect. But I was just like, seeing it a second time didn't make it better. It just made it worse. I was ready to get up and go, but I just sat there because he was watching it, and I was just like, well, let's see what he does. He didn't get up and leave, so I didn't. I just soldiered through it, and I just like took my thing of popcorn and was just like, woo, yeah, burn him again. For those of you who've seen Bug's Life, you know what I'm talking about.
What scene in the movie made you say the hamster on the wheel is literally putting
I'm talking about that one. I'm talking about that one scene in The Rise of Skywalker where Emperor Palpatine is somehow mystically, magically back from the dead, even though he fell down that entire elevator shaft and the whole thing exploded. I know the Force is capable of crazy stuff, but I mean, come on. I know Vader survived some crazy stuff in the comics, but I mean,
there was at least some explanation.
There was some explanation
and
to
some
that,
and there was some at least
there was some believable to that.
Believability.
Whereas this was just like,
where's the believability?
how? And then when the burn him again part came from I am all the Sith and I am all the Jedi. Sends all the lightning back at him.
Didn't have to try to act for that. He was just old. I hate to sound like I'm insulting. Ian McDiarmid, but like I'm pretty sure all he had to do was like be old, just be himself. It was no shade to Ian McDiarmid. Ray goes in there's like, what's that old man smell?
It just wasn't anything.
Okay.
Look, so my that's my order. It's The Force Awakens, The Last Jedi, and The Rise of Skywalker. All right. So what are yours?
Okay.
And if you say that The Rise of Skywalker is your favorite out of the three, I am leaving.
I don't know.
I am getting up and I am going.
Okay. I think as far as a movie goes, if we like just completely
we scared away our audience, by the way.
If we completely forget everything about all the movies, let's pretend that they don't exist.
Sure.
Right?
I'll happily forget. I'll happily forget.
No, I'm talking about the first one of the sequels. Okay. The first one of the sequels. Okay. If we completely just pretend, let's just say we didn't know anything about the originals, the prequels, Star Wars Rebels, Star Wars The Clone Wars, Star Wars The Clone Wars, the other thing, the non-canon stuff, but it's good. What do you call it? Hot seat take. Not a hot seat take. What do you call it? When you're like saying hot take. Hot take. Sorry. Anyways, hot take. The 2D animated Clone Wars is overrated.
I mean, it's
good.
It's all right.
It's peak, but it's not.
I don't know about peak, but it's all right.
It's like hot. It's fire, right? It's neat. That's
hot. That's hot.
Yeah, it's that level. But I don't think it's like the best Star Wars thing ever.
It's not the best, but it's not the worst.
But yeah, it's. I feel like it's overrated. Okay, hot take over. Okay, anyways, I feel like the best sequel movie is none, Deb. No, they're all equally balanced.
I'd agree. I agree with you, but we have to do it.
Rise of Skywalker is actually the best if you just walk into the theater like as a casual viewer, right? It's the best, right? No, this is the Rise of Skywalker. I mean the Return. Oh wait, what's her name? The Force Awakens. Sorry, the Force Awakens. Hold up. I I forgot my
I
brain.
told you
The hamster
that I
on the
was
wheel.
going
Uh,
to
hold on. The hamster on the wheel gave me the wrong note.
and you wonder why
I forgot
said
the
you
title.
have no brain.
I forgot the title of the movies for a full second. The hamster on the wheel, like had paper shredded
Oh,
everything
God.
of the sequel movies, and then he's like duct taping back together, and he had me the wrong one. Okay, it's like, oh shoot.
We threw out his name. Oh God! I know we're idiots, but damn, I was just like, I was ready to
Anyways,
just be like,
no, The
bro.
Force Awakens. Okay, the forced to be awakened. Anyways, the Force to be awakened with.
I was about to.
The Force Awakens.
Say there
Okay.
is no
I
way
remember
that
the
Rise
hype.
of Skywalker is your favorite.
Anyways, I remember the hype. I remember the bandwagon. I remember
All
getting
those-
on the ride.
All those trailers just going.
And it was
The
Christmas
dark
movie, right?
side,
Well, not a
the
Christmas movie,
Jedi,
but like
it's
this is
real,
Christmas.
all of it.
And I was like,
All
yo!
the hype, and then that one released reaction of Poe Dameron, not Poe Dameron, Finn's character John Boyega. He released a reaction to the trailer
Yes.
where he was like, "Let's go,
Yeah.
fuck Kylo Ren."
Anyway, okay, so all that was wasted by the next movies onward.
Yeah.
It was The Force Awakens is actually a Star Wars movie. I will say The Force Awakens is a Star Wars movie.
That's why I said
It
I
works.
will justifiably here. I will compare The Force Awakens to the first Jurassic World movie. The first Jurassic World felt like a Jurassic Park movie.
There was a quote. I don't have it on me, but somewhere you could probably investigate it. The people on the internet could probably investigate it. But I remember seeing a tweet that was so good. A quote here, okay? This person was a huge Star Trek fan, okay? He said he hates all of the Star Wars movies,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
He says that The Force Awakens, it feels like it's just as Star Warsy, or not Star Warsy, but it's like somewhere along the lines that like it was just as garbage as all the other Star Wars movies. However, the Last Jedi and the Rise of Skywalker they're way worse. They're somehow those two movies made him somehow like The Force Awakens.
I think they would do that for us Star Wars fans too.
Like it made him like everything about Star Wars. It made this number one hater of Star Wars somehow like Star Wars on the principle that the Force
these movies were better than these two.
The Force Awakens, it feels like a decent movie, right? It feels like
on par with
great-
Jurassic
right.
World.
And so now we have to compare all. Okay, now I have to say, now this is the next part that is a bit tricky. Okay, it is the best movie out of the sequels.
Is it?
Okay, this is for me. All right. I don't know which I hate more. The Rise of Skywalker or The Last Jedi.
I mean, I can say there were some good moments in The Last Jedi that easily overshadow anything the Rise of Skywalker.
Because there's
had.
potential there. Like they could,
There was potential, but
Yes.
then they shot it.
As much as I hate that Ryan Johnson had purposely designed the movie, like he said in a quote, like he does this to every movie he makes, where he purposely like divides his own audience, right? And I could watch it. I would well, watch. I feel like this is true because I decided to watch a Ryan Johnson movie, and what was that movie with? It was not Glass Onion. That was the sequel. What was the one that came before it? It had it was a murder detective story.
I'm not sure.
Oh, it was Ryan Johnson's like Knives Out, and then Glass Onion. Okay, oh, Knives Out, Glass Onion. Okay, Knives Out.
I thought you were talking for a second there.
In
I
my
thought
opinion,
you were
with the Knives
talking
Out,
about Murder on the Nile, and then I was
No.
like, that wasn't Ryan Johnson.
Anyways, Knives Out. Okay, it did exactly. It really felt like watching The Last Jedi. Like where half of the movie, or at least parts of the movie, had like good, like potential. Like okay, I like this idea. I like certain parts. Right. I also didn't like the subversion of expectations, which happened in the Last Jedi, where there was a lot of subversions.
Subversion of
expectations, and there's some people who actually like the idea of Snoke being killed, and like I personally, like I don't know how to feel about that. You know what I'm saying? Like the Last Jedi, I don't know how to feel about the Last Jedi, so I have to place it as next favorite because there's a lot of stuff.
I mean,
that's there.
I personally was fine with Snoke getting killed like that because I would tell like, oh yeah, you go. I mean, the way he was treating Kylo Ren, I was like, well, what did you think was gonna happen?
Don't get me wrong, but like I also like to see more of Snoke. I would like to see who is the not. I wanted to know who like Snoke was. I like the idea that Rey was a nobody. They set it up perfect. I feel like the Ryan Johnson or Rune Johnson, whatever you want to call it, right? The Last Jedi was like a weird.
I mean, a lot of them
in my
were
mind.
like, a lot of them were just kind of like setting it up for Rey to be like someone who was actually important to the story, and then all of a sudden to just discover that
I like that
they're nobody special in particular.
But there's a lot of stuff that I don't like.
All of a sudden they're somehow capable of going toe to toe with like important force wielders like Kylo Ren.
Okay, so Knives Out. Anyways, back to
what I will say about the Last Jedi. I'm fine with Snoke getting killed in that movie. What I wasn't fine with was the fight choreography that happened afterwards between all those Imperial guards. How Rey just kicked one.
You're tilting.
I'm fine. Anyways, how Rey kicks one guard and then all three of them, even though the other two were nowhere near.
There was a lot of straw man arguing about that scene because of like the original movie had one scene where in episode 5 where Luke had one scene where he force kicks someone.
But that was one scene.
Where you can argue whether or not it's a force kick or it was just a bad the stop man not following instructions or whatever. You know the scene where like Luke kicks a guy, but it's like at a bad camera angle. Or you can make an argument all you want whether it's like immersion. Yeah, okay, it's a force kick. But if you want to talk about for reals, you're right. I feel like if you separate, if it was a bad scene, then it's a bad scene, right? You don't purposely put bad scenes.
Yeah, but don't purposely put them in there. At least that scene was at least at a bad camera angle where people would miss it. Like not everybody noticed that. Whereas that fight scene, it was on full display at a wide angle for everyone to see.
But Knives Out really made me see like what I liked in his movie versus what I don't like in The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
There's a lot of weird he has a lot of like this weird like subvert expectation thing, and like a lot of people are like, oh, but it's a comedy. I'm like, okay, but at least comedies are funny. This is not funny. This doesn't feel like, am I a joke to you? This makes like there was a lot of scenes. It just didn't feel like coercive in my opinion. Like you could argue all day long, like, oh no, it's actually coercive, a coercive movie and story and plot and whatnot. But to me personally, it just didn't feel. It didn't feel right. You know, I didn't like Knives Out. And here's the things I don't like in Knives Out. And I felt if I compare it, do a like quick comparison to Knives Out, to Last Jedi. Now, completely different movies, but like how the movie is designed. If you look at
there's surprisingly a lot of similarities in like how their stories unfold.
how the story is being told. Rian Johnson's storytelling. That's what I was referring to. Not necessarily, there's a murder here.
How it all goes south.
Clearly, the obvious bad guy is the obvious bad guy. Yours like is that there's a trope where like where the obvious bad guy isn't the obvious bad guy, but instead he somehow subverted that trope. And it's like, okay, hello, we're back. Okay, good. So what was I saying? It was Knives Out. There were some things that like to me, looking at it, then going back to Star Wars. Going back to Star Wars real quick. There's some things I do like about Last Jedi, and there's also some things I don't like about Last Jedi. But like, I feel like if you take apart the stuff that is divisive or whatever, or what makes it a Rian Johnson story, right? Because like, there's some things I remember in the Last Jedi that like I particularly don't like, or how the story is told to that specific way.
What? Running low on battery here.
Well, that's okay. Well, okay. So what do you remember of that film? Like, what was the most divisive thing in the Last Jedi?
Advisive?
No, not divisive. Divisive. Yeah.
All right, divisive.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. See. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. We're live. We're back. Anyways, go back to
2, 3.
Oh, I can use.
I mean, yeah, the Last Jedi did have that scene where she just shot through Laura Dern's character just through a whole bunch of ships. Hello. It was pretty. Hello, viewer. It was a gorgeous shot, but I mean,
it made a lot of people not happy. It's a gorgeous shot.
It's a gorgeous shot.
There are several things you could have done instead of having her sacrifice herself.
Yeah.
And then there's also the Poe Dameron scenes where he argued.
Poe Dameron.
Yeah, the Poe Dameron scenes. And then the Rose Tico subplot that was boring. As there was no subplots like that in the original series, as far as I know.
I mean,
there was some. I don't know. I don't think there were any. I don't think there really were any subplots. I mean, there were some subplots, but it was like it was like you have one main character and the other main character doing. One main character doing one thing, and
one's doing Jedi training, one's doing rebel stuff.
Yeah. Well,
but the Rose Chica thing was just kind of Rose Chica, whatever.
I forget
one characters. I mean, like I feel like they were trying to set it up for like Finn to fall in love with the different characters so that they could set up a romance for Rey and Kylo.
I know.
But
I
it
don't know.
real quickly
That's
didn't.
like
It real.
too.
I said it sounded like they were trying to do that, and then real quickly it all just fell apart. It went nowhere. And
It doesn't make sense.
if anybody on the stream, if any of you are out there right now, can tell us if you think it went anywhere, didn't go anywhere, let us know. We'd love to hear your opinions.
I'm not a fan of the Rilo, whatever it's called,
I-
because like I like
I'm
the
not
few
a
characters.
fan. I'm not a fan of it either.
I
I'm
like the
just saying,
idea
like,
of
it's obvious they were trying to set up that romance, and they were trying to give Finn his own romance as well, but it real quickly just
Poe is right there.
de-escalated into shite.
A lot of people wanted the Poe and Finn one, but regardless, that didn't happen. None of that happened. Rose Tico for some reason happened. There was a lot of other stuff that also happened that like still made Rey into the Rey stew or whatever you want to call it. Like I want to say Mary stew. The
If
argument
you're
that
too afraid to show like gay relationships in Star Wars, that's fine and all. You can keep your romances, your relationship straight. Like I'm pretty sure not a whole lot of people are gonna be too upset about that. Like as long as you make the relationship make sense.
yeah,
but if you're just gonna throw shit out there just to if you're just going to like splatter paint all over the wall and just go.
It was basically the subversion of expectation. You were expecting something to happen, but then he subverted it for some reason.
You were expecting Prince Charming.
No, here's another thing. Like they actually knew each other ahead of Poe and Finn actually knew each other ahead of time.
They mend the force.
They added this scene literally just to make it to where like, oh hey, let's make it into a romantic thing where they bonded over saving the day or something. The poor orphans. Like, don't get me wrong, the poor orphans. Oh yay! But like, it's just
like,
weird.
It is what it is. And these things,
and it was all for naught too.
It was. It really
there was no point of saving those space.
There wasn't any point
and blowing up the casino.
There wasn't any point to any of it. At the end of the day, it just it all went nowhere real fast.
And now we have to discuss of course the least favorite. In order, the Rise of Skywalker would be the least favorite one. As much as the Rian Johnson film, The Last Jedi, was divisive, right? Because like there's some things I like about it.
There were some things about it that were actually enjoyable,
right? But instead, here's the thing: it doubled down.
Like this just felt like a nostalgia sandwich because you throw in Lando. But I mean,
what
else? Like you,
what I didn't like about
fake Chewie being destroyed.
Subplot, like I understand that. I think the Mustafar subplot also introduced the cloning of Snoke. I think, or something. I don't know. The Mustafar subplot did nothing. It went nowhere. There was no point of it except for a somewhat reveal of Palpatine. But why? Or reveal that he exists, right?
That he somehow survived.
Or that Snoke... It would have been neat if Snoke cloned himself instead of Palpatine. Or you could... I know that there was a reference... I know that like before the movie, there was some sort of indication that Ian... what is his name? That Palpatine's
he sent the live broadcast
or like
Dr. Eggman. I've come to make an announcement.
Anyways, I know that the actor for Palpatine said like he's going to be in the film and whatnot. I feel like they should have done a flashback for him weren't dead, or maybe that he trained Snoke, because Palpatine. Let's face it, he trained like a lot of dudes.
A lot.
Not
He
dudes.
trained.
Sorry, he trained a lot
trained
of
Darth
Sith.
Maul. He trained Count Dooku. He trained Vader.
And Vader trained the Inquisitors.
Vader trained the Inquisitors.
You
In
could-
the non-canon, he trained Starkiller, and he trained who else did Vader train?
You could have revealed that.
Well, I mean, he trained Starkiller, and there was another person Vader trained.
Or heck, you could have revealed that Snoke.
But I mean, like Count Dooku trained Asajj Ventress, and even then, Darth Maul had his brother Savage Opress. Like Palpatine set up the path for many Sith to be trained.
Or heck, you could have had it to where Snoke was somehow a character in relations to Palpatine. Now, maybe not related, but like had some sort of relations to him.
I don't know about that.
Maybe not. No, again, not maybe
at
not
least
related.
some sort of story.
Or maybe he was created,
Instead-
not trained, but created
instead he
created
was
by
just instead he was
Palpatine.
just kind of a nothing sandwich.
Yeah, nothing sandwich. Huh? Yeah, the whole movie was basically just a nothing sandwich. He had bread.
No. Snoke was a
No.
nothing sandwich. That whole movie was one
No.
big nothing funnel.
No. Hold on. About nothing fun. No. It is no. The whole movie was a something sandwich. Let's at least give it some credit. It just had a lot of roaches, a lot of other insects, and a lot of poop in the form of a sandwich. Okay, with the dirt and as stone as like the bread pieces. You go, yes, yes, it's edible at least.
You see, because at least dirt, insects, and fertilizer, go to some sort of use. They have some sort of importance. This movie had nothing. This movie had nothing to contribute to the lore, the story. It had nothing to contribute to anything.
If they do a Rey movie, like they're doing, or some sort of if they either do a Rey movie or the New Jedi Council with Rey, or the sequel, another set of sequels, I hope they. What I'm hoping that they do for the next film.
All I can say is
it's just put the sequels as far as in memory lane. Just put it in.
I already know that if they do decide to go for another set of Star Wars sequels at the rate they're going under Disney's watch, we already know that the new set of Jurassic Park movies.
Don't give us Finn.
We already know they're going to be a whole lot better because look at what Jurassic Park's doing.
Give us Rey
with Jurassic. Look at what they're doing with Jurassic World Rebirth.
Just
David Koepp and Gareth Edwards did away with the original cast from both trilogies, introduced a new set of cast of characters. They're doing an entirely different setup now. They have their own plot. They're going back to the basics of what makes Jurassic Park a scary movie. Or at least that's what they hope to accomplish. But the very fact that they say they hope they've accomplished this makes it sound like they at least went in that direction towards making a Jurassic movie that feels like it's in the Jurassic verse and contributes something to the franchise. Whereas the way Star Wars is right now, it just feels like they're just putting a bunch of stuff in there, and like it feels like they're just pissing on their fans without even the courtesy of calling it acid rain.
Anyways,
And I'm sorry for that disturbing image.
now
but
we have to put the sequel trilogy in least the favorite of all the movies.
Hey, I'll go first.
Okay.
So, like I said before, it's Empire Strikes Back, followed by A New Hope, followed by Return of the Jedi, followed by Revenge of the Sith, followed by The Phantom Menace, followed by Attack of the Clones. Then, actually, no. In this case, I'm going to say The Force Awakens is actually ahead of The Phantom Menace. It's better than The Phantom Menace. So that would be Empire Strikes Back, A New Hope, Return of the Jedi, Revenge of the Sith, Force Awakens, Phantom Menace, The Last Jedi, then Attack of the Clones, and then Rise of Skywalker.
Okay. So here's my order of all the films all together. Well, I'm gonna go in least to
We're
greatest.
just talking about the trilogies right now, not the standalone films. We'll get to Solo and Rogue One on different stream. All right.
No. We could do them, but like we're not gonna put that.
We're kind of already.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, we'll do that for like.
We'll do that in like a separate video.
Yeah. Well, we'll just. I guess with that, for that stream, we'll just do live. We'll just do the live action stuff. to keep it separate. Yeah, just live action stuff. With live action shows, with the exception, we're not going to do because so far I'm caught up with all the live action stuff.
Well, not all.
What is one that I'm not? Which one?
You haven't seen the Alkali.
We're not including Alkali. That's non-canon apparently.
All right, and
I feel like I've caught up with all of them.
You might have.
Anyways, so we're gonna only talk about the live action stuff.
We'll get to the Rebels and Clone Wars another day.
Clone Wars is a long marathon. It's a long trip.
We'll get to that a different day.
Yeah, I think we're almost done with season 2 of Star Wars Rebels.
We're on season 3, actually.
Season 3. We're almost done with season 3 of Star Wars Rebels.
No, we're not even almost done. We just started season 3.
Oh, shoot.
We're rewatching Star Wars Rebels. He gave up towards the beginning of season 3 because he wanted. Well,
the last time we watched it, when it first came out, I gave up during season 3. But like, I took a break in the middle of season 3. During the month of Star Wars. But anyways. Okay, so least to greatest.
Got a battery life.
No, we're good. Yeah, so we got a few more minutes.
21%.
No.
Let's make it count. Let's make it count.
Anyways. From least, let me finish. Least to greatest Star Wars films.
Least to greatest?
Yes.
I did greatest to least.
Oh, greatest to least. Okay, so 6, 5, 4. Which one is The Force Awakens?
That would be
7. Sorry. 5, 4, 7, 3, 2.
So you put Force Awakens ahead of Revenge of the Sith.
Yes.
All right.
Because at least most of it at least is a coherent, not a coherent plot, but at least it goes from it For the most part, it
that's
doesn't like
fine, that's fine,
doesn't go
that's
into
fine.
like boring stuff that I
That's
forget.
that's fine.
You know what
That's
I'm
fine. That's fine. That's fine. We all have our things.
7, 3, 2, 1. Trash and then ass.
We're not even gonna bother to give them numbers, so no.
Trash and 0. No, 0. No, 0 because it's actually a useful number. 0 and then -1.
Hey, don't affiliate that garbage with Godzilla -1.
Okay, fine. Well, okay.
Godzilla -1 actually was a fucking
No, there's -1 and
masterpiece.
there's -1. There's two different things. You're
This
subtracting versus you're
This
going
isn't
at
even. This isn't.
versus you're making up a number.
This isn't even a negative number. This is just awesome.
Well, now it's low.
Let's see battery.
But
I told you we need to get a charger.
well, not at the moment. We're almost done with the stream.
I hope so. Otherwise, it's gonna cut out.
20. We have 25 minutes.
19%.
19%, but 25 minutes left. But we don't.
Right.
We're almost done here with the stream. Okay, so actually,
We'll talk more in depth about it in a different stream. Don't worry. This
actually, you know what we should do for part 2?
The end of our
You know what we should do for part 2?
What?
Of Star Wars? What we're gonna do is actually gonna. I've actually made up my mind for part 2 of for the next Random Fandom stream will be part 2 of Star Wars. But what we're gonna do is name our favorites and least favorite scenes per movie. How's that? That will be part 2, like we do. Because of the fact that Star Wars is much bigger scope than Jurassic Park, we rated the movies.
Currently,
we had a different way.
Currently, it is. It has more movies, but let's show some respect.
It's a lot bigger.
It has bigger stuff. Like it is a bigger franchise, but please let's not. Well, that's debatable.
Well, anyways, we've got to leave here. We've got to leave. We're running out of time. We're running out of battery. We're running out of
life points.
Oh no! Okay, anyways,
Blue Eyes White Dragon attacked the life point directly.
Anyways, I got this Boba Fett controller.
We got an Xbox One, so eventually we'll learn how to live stream games.
We'll eventually stream. We'll find out. Maybe that may be the next stream. Anyways, we've got to go. Please leave a like, subscribe, or
until next time, everyone. You know, we tip our hats to y'all. If you enjoyed it, leave a like. If you didn't,
please share.
The dislike is also there. Share with others. Leave a comment. Give us your opinions
on your favorite movie
down below.
Your least favorite movie.
Least favorite Star Wars films.
In the next stream,
and
we'll talk about
share your opinions with us as well. And hit the notification bell so you won't miss a beat here with Ravenwood and I on the Random Fandom. And until next time, y'all, tip of the hat, y'all.
Bye-bye.